Well, if you've tuned into this little episode of Minnesota Fishing and you were looking for the latest and greatest in fishing content, I apologize, this isn't that video. If you followed my channel for any length of time, you know a couple winters ago I did a video on off-grid hot tubs, and I built this hot tub. I tried to save a little money, and I built it out of a off-brand, or it's called Usugi cedar. It's a Japanese cedar. It's supposed to have all the same components of a northern red cedar, but I have come to find out it does not. And regular red cedar is mold and rot resistant and won't grow mushrooms like this Usugi cedar. See, farming some nice mushrooms here. And if you come on this side, I've already taken my metal bands off because we're taking this one apart. You can see here, this part of the tub has completely rotted away. You know, a red cedar won't do that. And so I considered, or I thought about building a whole new red cedar tub. This is actually the third tub I built, so I would have been building the fourth one. And I wanted to try something different. Well, there it is.
That's it.
That's gonna be our new hot tub, hopefully. Big old water jug. Well, we made it. 90 miles. Tank survived. Now comes the fun part. We got to get that tank across the lake and onto the island. So this is the part where things might get a little tricky.
Stop.
Not where I wanted this to be. This was supposed to be on top of there. Rolled on me. So here we go. Well, my main goal is not to break this off. I broke that off. So I was trying real hard not to break this, but not hard enough apparently. But eventually we just muscled it up and threw up on the top. So now to the island we go. We made it! Oh, my boots are leaking. Come on, get heavy.
Put your back into it.
Yeah, put your front into it. Oh. Oh. Rock there. Well, maybe this is the bad spot. There we go. So The X factor with this new tub is going to come all down to the stove, because the stove weighs about 65-70 pounds, and it's going to have to hang on the edge of the new plastic tub. So that's going to be kind of the deciding factor on how well it works. But first thing we're going to do, get the old tub out of here. Oh yeah, just leveling our spot off here a little bit. New tub's going to be about a foot wider than the old tub, so gotta go a foot bigger. Which makes me think, if you think you know, why don't you throw it in the comments section. Who's bigger, John Bigger or John Bigger's son? Let me know what you think. As you can tell, I screwed up a little bit and missed a step here. We got the top cut off, but I didn't have the camera rolling. Had some SD battery issues, but anyways, the top is off, and if you notice, it is considerably cleaner. We were kind of debating on how we wanted to clean this, but turns out a little bit of steel wool goes a long way with a little elbow grease. And so just kind of finishing up that last piece of the cleaning process. Once we get this baby cleaned up, it's going to be time for the stove, and see if we can get that on here, and hopefully the weather gets a little nicer, but if not, hopefully we have a hot tub to enjoy. So all right, well, save for a little bit of sand that I didn't get out. Got her pretty good and cleaned up. Now comes kind of the tipping point here. We've got our stove, I got it in here, and we need to, or basically what I need to figure out is if the sides of this tank are rigid enough to hold the stove. The issue with this stove is that when it's empty, the weight of the stove wants to pull the edge in. When it's full, the stove becomes buoyant and wants to push the edge out. So I'm fighting both directions here. So I'm gonna try to kind of get this stove lined up and then find a way to maybe support it a little bit so that it doesn't shift up and down as much when there's water in or out of the tub. So that's our next step, just kind of figuring out how this is gonna go in here, and so this should be interesting. And I have to go higher. I got the spot where I'm gonna put the stove picked out, and now this is the nerve-wracking part. I've marked in here where my brackets are gonna go, and I've got to drill through it. So this is the point of no return. So there's one. Two. Three. All right, now I've just got a couple bolts here, some big wide flat washers, and I'm just gonna coat these with silicone, the same stuff I use to seal up my boat when I was doing some transducer mounting. So it's marine grade silicone, so hopefully plugs those holes. It is mounted. My 6x6 is not under there, and it's holding up great. You can see everything's loose right now, but you can see everything in here is loose right now. This one down here is loose. Not everything needs to be tightened, but that's for a specific purpose, because now I'm going to put our clear silicone behind everything here, and then cinch them down. So that is our next step. And here we go. And you know, I don't know a ton about silicone, but in my opinion, more is more. I'm also going to do the inside, then I'll do the inside now, and then I'm going to go back and I'll spread that around a little bit just to get a better seal. Push that in there a little bit. By George, I think that's gonna work. I think I got long arms.
I think you have long arms.
There we have it. She's on. You can see it, there's a little wiggle there, but it doesn't seem to be having any issues holding. I am going to put the 6x600 just to be safe, but I don't think there's going to be any issues with this whatsoever. You can see we've got the fast pump there at the end of the dock, and it is filling our tub up first time here, so we'll see if the silicone holds and go from there. All right, there we have it. Tub is full. Dump our thermometer in here. We can watch it get warm. I just got a fire going. If you're not familiar how this stove works, obviously it's an all aluminum stove, watertight, obviously sits down in the water. You can see, just start a fire down there in the barrel. Just got that going. Because it's aluminum, it disperses the heat pretty well. Even when it's roaring hot, you can touch it. The only concern I have of it melting the tub is this gap is really close, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that while I warm the water up, but I really don't think it's gonna be a big deal. So here we go, redneck hot tub. Well, I've had some harebrained ideas before. It just didn't pan out. But this is one that I can't believe it worked as well as it did. From finding a 1,000-gallon tank on Facebook Marketplace, to rolling it onto a pontoon, to cutting the top off of it, to putting a wood-burning aluminum stove in it, to building a deck around it, to enjoying it. I can't believe it's working as well as it is. So I hope you found this entertaining or useful or whatever. But thanks for watching. Till next time.